Hi, I'm Stephen Siler with Smoke Alarm Media.
Today we're going to be cooking a recipe from our new cookbook, Playing with Fires. It's a collection of firefighter recipes from across the nation. But today we're doing Greg Ramey's green pork chili.
This is a little bit different take on that. This is a green pork chili, a little bit lighter, but the great thing is it lasts forever. So when you get interrupted on a call, anything else, the chili will hold and it's delicious. It's a pork chili. Something but a lot of folks don't give a lot of credit to is pork. Ground pork is one of the finest cooking meats that you're ever going to find. It's got a great flavor profile. It's cheaper than ground beef. What we're going to do first is we're going to saute up the ground pork with one onion that's been roughly chopped. Get the good caramelization on, get the flavors going. One thing most people do is they cook at too high of a heat. You never need to cook anything above about a medium heat unless you're boiling water. So we're going to put our pan right now about on a medium heat. Go ahead and get the onions sauteing in there. Get all those onions in there. You never can have too many onions in this. And now I'm going to add the pork. And just break it up with your fingers. You can chop it up later with your spatula. But get this going. One of the things with green chili, it's very easy to do, that while your meat and your onions are sauteing, you can go ahead and prep up your wet ingredients. Now, one thing we do with this recipe, we want to make it easy. So we don't bother draining the beans because that juice in the beans has flavor. The juice in the peppers has flavor. And this recipe is all about the flavor. So what I'm going to simply do is combine all of my wet ingredients together and I'm going to puree them in the blender. That releases the flavor. It really brings a new dimension to the chili. Whenever you're using a blender, you always want to put in your liquid ingredient first so that way nothing gets caught around the blades at the bottom. So just squeeze in. And this is 3 cups of chicken broth or chicken stock if you have it. Now, I'm going to put in 3 cans of my chilies. I have 2 4-ounce cans of green chili. These are mild chilies. And yes, I do have 1 4-ounce can of chopped jalapenos just because I like spicy. Finally, the secret ingredient for everything is garlic, and lots of it. That's 2 good tablespoons of garlic. Cannot get enough garlic. We're going to take the liquid ingredients, we're going to do it on a slow puree for 30 seconds just to get them all mixed up real well. And at the same time, I'm going to stir up the meat and the onions. Blast this. That's it. Just set that to the side and get it ready to pour into your pan a little bit later. We're getting close to getting this finished, believe it or not. Our meat and our onions are almost done. We have pureed up the peppers and the chicken broth right here. So now it's time to basically start assembling this entire recipe. First thing I'm going to do is going to be to put this puree of the peppers and the broth into a good big stock pot. And I want it to start heating up and getting ready to simmer. Now, one of the things that Southerners are very proud of is that we like to make a gravy with almost everything. And this chili is no different. So we have fried up our pork and our onions, and there's this wonderful grease that's left over from the pork and a little bit of water. So what I'm going to do is basically make a gravy. And the purpose this is going to serve is in the chili, it will actually help thicken it up and really make it a hearty meal and not just more like a soup. All I'm going to do is add the flour here, 2 tablespoons of flour, and just mix it in to capture the liquid. You do not want to add flour to anything that's pure water, like the stock. You want to add it to something that, like a butter or to a grease or to an oil, so that it actually mixes up and it doesn't get kind of what we would call gloppies. And all that's going to do is make a little delicious pork gravy that will thicken up our chili. That's it. Now, if you've been following up to this point, you may see 2 ingredients you're wondering, why are they in there? One being peanut butter, the other being brown sugar. No, we're not making cookies. These are the secret ingredients. It adds a complexity to this chili that you will not believe, and it is outstanding. The first thing I'm going to add is going to be the ground pork and onions. And I add the ground pork and onions first so that when I pour the liquid ingredients in there, they're already in. Otherwise, they might splash if I had to put the liquid in first. The next thing I'm going to add is going to be our liquid puree. So I'm going to add all 3 of the cans of beans that I've opened, the pintos, the navy beans, and the garbanzo beans, including the juice. Don't drain them at all. We're going to give this a good stir just to get everything start mixing up. And then finally, we have our last 2 ingredients, the secret ingredients, the peanut butter and the brown sugar. Now I'm going to stir this up, get everything nice and mixed up, and I'm going to bring this to a medium simmer. I want all those flavors to start to meld together in a nice slow heat. Now, one of the things that makes chili chili is what people call chili powder. Well, the main ingredient in chili powder is actually cumin. And you want to add cumin at the very end once all of your cooking is done, because cumin is a rather delicate spice and it will break down in the heat. But if you put it in at the last moment, it makes it taste outstanding. I'm just going to put a liberal amount in here and just get it all mixed up in this fineness. And you can see how thick that the chili is. That's when I added the flour and I kept all the juices of the beans in there. This is outstanding. And don't worry about adding too little or too much cumin. You really can't screw this up. A little sample taste. Outstanding. And a little spicy on the end. And as happens in the fire service, we were interrupted on a call, but the chili waited for us. But we're back, we're done, and we're hungry. And don't be shy about the portions on this. When we serve this, we always have tortilla chips. Chili and tortilla chips go great. Also, cheese. Be generous with the cheese. And finally, a little dollop of sour cream just to make sure we get our dairy in. That it's a delicious meal. I'm gonna eat some more right now.